Good evening, guys. Welcome back to Ansarkari. So let's quickly start with our discussion from the Sunday's edition of the Hindu newspaper that is going to be for 18th of December. So yesterday itself we talked about the two major reforms that you were expecting that the GST Council would be taking up and discussing, but we see that it differs the key reforms and there were no significant discussions that it held. However, we see it approved decriminalization of some of the offenses, but could not find the time to discuss half of its agenda, and there were no discussions on the formation of the GST appellate tribunal. So, no real, we can say, real outcome from this GST council meeting. Let's see what else do we have. Okay, so two important news articles talking about the judiciary. So first one is talking about that the pendency of the cases is it poses a hurdle to the Supreme Court's role as a protector of citizens' rights. So our CJI says that the top court it has to hear every little cry for personal liberty and safeguarding the rights of the people, and the pendency of the cases affects the court's role as the timely protector of the citizens' rights. So that is one thing, and here we can see in this table the pendency of cases they have been categorized under different heads. So we should be knowing that maximum cases which are pending are related to the special leave petitions, followed by the PILs. Then we have writ petitions which are pending. So these are, we can say, these three categories constitutes the major proportion of the pending cases in the Indian judiciary. And the CGI has made it clear that even the bail petitions deal with the question of personal liberty and they should not be delayed. So that is one thing. And talking about what are the other factors which lead to increase in pendency of cases. So the first one is vacancies of the judges. Second is frequent adjournments and lack of adequate arrangements to monitor, track, and bunch cases for hearing. So these are other factors, and that's how we can see that the pendency of cases affects the Supreme Court's role as the timely protector of the citizens' rights. And the next news article is talking about basically linking law and morality. So constitution is a moral education document. So constitution was designed not for people as they were, but what they ought to be. And it is the flag bearer of our fundamental rights. It guides us in our daily life. So that's how we should see our constitution. And Supreme Court rectified the injustice, that is section 377, which was based on the morality of the bygone era. So obviously our constitution is a living document and it is evolving with changing time and needs. And constitutional morality focuses on the rights of individuals and protects it from the popular morality notions of the society. Then, referring to striking down the provision of adultery, the values of a progressive constitution serve as a guiding force for all of us, and they convey that our personal and professional lives they aren't divorced from the constitution. So we do not see our personal and professional lives separately as far as the constitution is concerned, and what constitution is telling us about these two things, these two factors. So that is, we can say, how constitution it is a document for moral education, and you should be knowing about this factor also. Let's move ahead. So talking about the breast cancer cases in India. So according to the government's estimate, breast cancer is the leading cause of cancer in women in India, and the drug which is used to treat this disease is known as the ribociclib, which is very expensive and unavailable at affordable price because it is patented, and therefore India's generic drug makers who routinely manufactured cheaper versions, they were legally prohibited from making this cheaper version of this drug, and that is one reason why it remains very expensive. And looking about the amount, or we can talk about the ratio, the proportion of the disease, we see that 100.5 out of 1 lakh women, they are being diagnosed with breast cancer, and the cost of this drug is around 58,000 monthly. And because the drug is unaffordable, the price of the medicine is unaffordable, it impacted the petitioner's right to health, which is a fundamental right under Article 21 of the Constitution, which is in Part 3 of the Constitution. So, India's patent laws permit any drug that is patented or not patented to be manufactured and made available at an affordable price via compulsory license, only if when the government is satisfied that a large section of the people, they need the drug but they are unable to access it, or if there is a national emergency or a health crisis that the absence of the drug is precipitating. So these are the factors on the basis of which the government decides whether the compulsory license should be given for manufacturing a drug or not. And in this case, the permission was not granted for the manufacturing of this drug, and the DPIIT, that is the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, decides the pricing of the drugs. So that is the thing, and you should be knowing about this. This is very important. Then you can see in this picture the olive ridley turtles in the Bay of Bengal near the Rushikulia river mouth, which is in the Ganjam district of Odisha. So you can find out more about the IUCN status of olive ridley turtles and the wildlife sanctuaries also. Then Rajasthan sanctuary gets protection against the ESZ shrinking. So the famous Tal Chapar Blackbuck sanctuary in the Churu district of Rajasthan, it has received a protective cover against a proposed move of the state government to reduce the size of its eco-sensitive zone. So this has not been accepted by the court that the size of the eco-sensitive zone of this sanctuary must be reduced, and that has not been accepted. And we've seen that there is an increase in the human population around the sanctuary, and with more and more unplanned and rampant construction activities increasing around it, which is obviously a threat for the wildlife which is found in the area of that sanctuary. So that is one thing. And you should be knowing about which all countries border the Black Sea. Open your atlases and locate all those countries. Then talking about quantum computing. So how quantum computing, they are different from the conventional computers. So the allure of the quantum computers is their ability to take advantage of quantum physics to solve the problems which are too complex for the conventional computers to solve. So that is, we can say, how the quantum computers, they are different from the conventional computers. And in 2021, the Indian government launched a mission to study the quantum technologies with an allocation of rupees 8,000 crores. Then Army also opened a quantum research facility in Madhya Pradesh, and Department of Science and Technology co-launched another facility in Pune. So these are certain steps that we are taking when it comes to our research and development in the area of quantum computing. And quantum physics, it describes a reality at subatomic scale where the objects, they are particles such as electrons. So here we cannot, you can't pinpoint the location of an electron. Okay, let's understand this thing with the help of an example. Suppose there is a ball flying through the air and we need to plot its path. So we can, using the quantum computing, we can predict exactly where the ball will be at a given point of time. So basically we can get micro details, we get to know micro things using the quantum computing techniques, which are not made available by the conventional computers. So that is one of the benefits and the difference between these two. And you should be knowing that Erwin Schrödinger is also related to quantum computing. Then talking about the fundamental unit of a quantum computer, it is called qubit. So QU stands for quantum, and bit, that is the fundamental computational unit of a conventional computer, which has the value of 0 and 1. So in case of quantum computer, the information is encoded in a superposition. So by superposition, we mean that instead of being exact 0 or 1, as it is in the case of a conventional computer, in case of a quantum computer, it is in the form of a superposition, that is 45% 0 plus 55% 1. So it is, we can say, more precise and more accurate, we can say. Then a practical quantum computer needs at least 1000 qubits. So the current biggest quantum processor has 433 qubits. So that is, we can say, important information regarding the quantum computers. In talking about the mRNA vaccines that have been used, even when we talk about the COVID-19 vaccines, so this article is talking about how the mRNA vaccines, they can help fight cancer. So the vaccine, it showed a 44% reduction in the risk of dying of cancer or having the cancer progress when the mRNA vaccines were used. And how does this vaccine work? So basically, the personalized cancer vaccine uses the same messenger RNA technology that was used to produce the COVID vaccine, and it allows the body's immune system to seek and destroy the cancerous cells. In this case, the cancer that we are basically the study for which it was conducted upon is the cancer which is called the melanoma. But with the hope that it could lead to new ways to fight other types of cancers too. So that is there. And once the mRNA, the vaccine has been injected into the body, the mRNA, it instructs cells that take up the vaccine to produce proteins that may stimulate an immune response against these same proteins when they are present in intact viruses or tumor cells. So that's how it works. And we see that it might help us in curing cancer. And yeah, that's it for today, since it's Sunday, so we do not have much of things to discuss. And thank you for joining Ansarkari. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel, and see you tomorrow.